Tony TV. Inspiring people across the planet to be a little kinder and a little more gentle with each other. Delivering inspirational TV, one story at a time, from my lounge to yours. I'm your host, Tony Lontis. Good morning and welcome to Tony TV. So, I'm going to begin by bringing inspirational stories one show at a time. And today I have with us the amazing Shar Moore, who, from humble beginnings, is now the founder and CEO of YMag, an international business magazine. She's also a sought-after keynote speaker and business mentor. Please welcome the multi-award-winning Shar Moore.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to be here in your lounge room today. It's kind of, Shar's my mentor, and it's a little awe-inspiring for me to be sitting in your lounge today with such an inspirational woman. So, on the eve of the upcoming Y Factor conference on the Gold Coast, what's exciting you most about the upcoming conference?
Oh, look, so many things, but I think the key thing is having incredible, inspiring women like yourself in the room, all meeting each other for the first time. I often sit back and it's like watching a family reunion, but what fascinates me is most of these women have never met each other.
Yes.
And what brings them together is this common thread of how they can help each other.
Yes.
No one's in the room to take. It's such a different experience that you just feel the energy in it. You listen to people going, oh my God, hello, I know you from social media, and they feel like they know each other.
Yes.
And the friendships and conversations and tears and laughter, it's just amazing. I can't wait for all of it.
Yes, that influence of social media on the way that we connect to each other is a new generational thing, isn't it, Shar?
It is, and I think, look, social media is amazing, and I don't think we would have met, and a lot of women, we wouldn't have.
Absolutely.
It's a powerful tool, but I still believe we're human beings.
Yes.
We want to touch, we want to connect, we want to look into each other's eyes and hear what's going on for someone.
Yes.
So I think you need the combination of both, and that's why we love running Y Factor, because it does bring everyone together.
Yes, yes. So I want to take us back into your 15-year-old self. So at 15, you were promised in an arranged marriage. So what happened from there for you?
Oh, look, so much, Tony. I think when my stepdad, my dad who raised me, at the age of 15 and a half, he asked me if that's what I wanted.
Yes.
And no one had asked me that before, so I didn't realise, one, that I had a choice. And two, that I could actually choose what I'd like to do with my life. And it just opened up a world of possibilities.
Yes.
And from there, I literally went into this tailspin, I guess, of, oh my gosh, I can literally do anything I want.
Yes.
And I was lucky enough to meet my husband, and we've now been together nearly 30 years.
Yes.
And he supported that. And I think that was so amazing, because having a man that says you can be anything and let's go do it.
Yes.
And it just sent me on this beautiful journey through my life of, we want to live in another country, let's go.
Yes.
Want to open a business, let's do it.
Yes.
So it's been amazing. I feel like I'm still a kid in a candy shop though.
So I know that you've also had some other key points in your life that were changing moments for you, and one of those was the floods that impacted you with your fashion store back in Brisbane. So can you tell me what happened there and how that ultimately led to YMag?
So it was really interesting, actually, because we'd been overseas for 8 years with our family, running businesses and travelling and working. And we came back when our boys were at that late teenage stage, and we thought it's time to move back and settle them into final years of school. So I opened 2 businesses as a personal stylist and had a fashion boutique, and it was doing extremely well. It was hilarious. We were between this chicken shop selling $2 chicken rolls and an OK hair salon. I know, it was hilarious. And there's me with this high-end fashion, designer clothing, $800 dresses. I'm like, okay. But it just goes to show it doesn't really matter where you're based if you really know your target audience and how to market. Absolutely. And the service.
Yes.
So we were doing thousands a day. It was amazing.
Yes.
And then the Queensland floods went through and indirectly affected the area that took people to where my shops were located.
Yes.
So I woke up and I'm like, what's going on?
Yes.
I was literally facing bankruptcy. And I walked into a newsagent because I thought, one thing I've always known, if you invest every penny you have in your mind and your mindset, education and knowledge, it will feed your back pocket forever.
Yes.
So I went into a newsagent and I spent hours scouring the shelves looking for something that was real, that was relatable, that was women just like me, sharing stories, but that wasn't at that celebrity sort of success level.
Yes.
And I walked out after hours, I felt worse. I felt angry, frustrated, depressed.
Yeah.
Because one, I didn't have the bikini body. Like, let's face it, I could wear a bikini on the beach. I might clear the beach, but you know, it's who determines Who determines that?
Yes,
and everything was high in fashion and gossip and lies. And these celebrities are lovely people, but they're portrayed in the worst light just to sell a cover.
Yes,
and I got really angry, and I thought, wow, since I've left Australia, what happened to magazines?
Yes.
So I decided to do some research, and I thought maybe other professional women want something that's real and is in the middle.
Yes.
And so that's how YMag started. I walked out, I thought, I don't know how to do this, but I knew why.
Yes.
And I figured if I knew the why, I'd find out the how.
Yes.
And that's 6 years ago.
Wow. So you started out as an electronic magazine.
Yes.
And then went to a proper magazine, and not that the first was not proper, but what caused you to make that change, and how has that been for you?
It was really interesting actually, Tony, because YMag sat behind a few other brands I was running.
Yes.
So I went on my broke to BMW journey, which was my recovery after the floods, and it became my first mentoring program.
Yes.
And YMag was ticking along digitally in the background.
Yes.
And I then started a business networking group called Y Network.
Yes.
Because I wanted to bring, business owners were coming together for events based on what they did.
Yes.
And I thought, what if we could bring them together based on their heart space of why, then talk about their what.
Yes.
And so Y Network just took off like wildfire down the east coast of Australia, and I ran over 300 events in 4.5 years. And YMag was still digitally running in the background. And I thought, okay, and then we started to get emails from our readers who were thinking women in Australia saying, Shar, would you consider printing this? Because your content is so mind-moving, inspirational, uplifting and aspiring, but without being ridiculous, and it's gossip-free, etc., etc. And I thought, are you crazy? Like, haven't you got the memo? All these print houses are closing and going only digital, and you want me to go the reverse. And it kept coming in. And I said, okay, there's something in this. I need to look at it. So I closed my other businesses. I shut everything down for 8 months, and I did some research, and I learnt how to publish a magazine. And I know. And then our readers were like, we'll even help you fund it. I'm like, really? So we crowdfunded, and there's women all over Australia that hadn't even read our magazine, that saw our crowdfunding and said, you know what, I'm going to put $20 into this project because I want to hold that product. I want the tactile experience. I want something that's going to make me feel good, and I want something that's going to be able to be passed on to other women to give them a pick-me-up when they need it. So we had a goal of 16,000 to raise, and we raised 22,500, and that was 2 years ago now. We've been sold in newsagents all over Australia and airports.
So what's the plan for YMag? International plans?
Look, at this stage we don't have any. I feel there's still a lot to be done in Australia, Tony. My heart goes out to regional and rural women. And I really believe that we can all do a little bit more to the women sitting out there that don't get access to the big city events and big city things. And there's still not enough women that know about us as a brand here in Australia. I have seen other brands that have grown really quickly internationally. And that comes with it a big team and a lot of responsibility and a lot more finance, and it actually busted them. And I don't want to see YMag lose its foothold for who we are in Australia. We really are our own lane. We don't try and be everything to everyone.
There's nothing like YMag in Australia at all. Everything else, as you say, is either high fashion, gossip and lies, or
food, diet.
Exactly. Whereas YMag is just inspirational women doing what they're led to do in their life path, and that's what makes it so special and so different. So I'm really excited that you've spent time talking to me today, but before we go, I'd really like to talk about Project Rani.
Oh, lovely. Look, Project Rani, it's so close to my heart. It's my why. So Rani is actually my middle name. It means Indian princess.
Yes.
And it's also our daughter's middle name, and we adopted her from India when she was 6 days old.
Yes.
So, but we've made Rani stand for raising awareness for needs in India.
Yes.
And so we've visited Project Rani. So it's a beautiful school they actually have 3 schools now.
Yes.
And it's through the Food for Life Vrindavan project. There's 1,500 rural girls that come in off the streets every day. Wow. And literally some of these girls are living in tin shanties on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And the funding that we provide and help raise for, it's only 60 Australian dollars a month.
Yes.
To have one girl off the street, brought into school, educated, 3 meals a day, provided uniforms. So, you know, it's one Uber Eats less a week. That's how I sort of say it to ourselves. And we personally support quite a few girls, and then we fundraise for other things that they need. But I just think, you know, everyone looks at big problems around the world, even in our own backyard, and they see it as insurmountable. Yes. And they go, oh, what would my difference, you know, how would it even make a difference with what I'm doing? Yes. And I just believe that even though we personally sponsor 2 girls for the year, we also donate other things. That's 2 less girls that won't be educated, that won't go into child slavery or married off at 11. Yes. And I did a press conference there in April of this year, and I spoke to the year 11 and 12 girls, and they said to me, I asked them, what do you want to be when you graduate? Do you want to get married? Because that's kind of what they've been told. Not one hand went up.
Wow.
And then I said, so shout out to me what you'd like to be. And in their best English, doctors, lawyers, you know, medical professions, engineers, graphic design. Shar, I want to work for your magazine. Yes. Not one person said marriage. Yeah. And education is what's going to fix.
It's the key, isn't it?
It is.
Education.
We can all do our little bit.
Absolutely.
So don't look at a problem and think it's too big. Just do your part.
Absolutely. What an amazing project to be part of, Shar. So, we've talked about YMag and we've talked about Rani. I know that you're an incredibly driven and inspirational businesswoman. I'd like to know how you balance all that.
I don't know that I do. Great concealer.
Yes.
Great makeup to hide the dark circles.
Yes.
Nice big bottle of wines, good girlfriends. No, in all seriousness, I think we all create our own busy.
Yes.
So I think we just, as a society, need to stop complaining about it, because we all fill our diaries.
Yes.
And my favourite thing when people say, how are you, Shar? Busy? I said, no, I'm really relaxed, actually.
Yes.
Because what does that get anyway by saying it? Because we create our own life.
We wear the busy tag as some sort of armour to protect us from taking on more stuff, when in fact you are only as busy as you allow yourself to be. You're only as busy as you make yourself. So it's about that balance, isn't it? And what do you do to bring balance into your life?
Look, I'm pretty good. I must say I haven't always been this way. Look, we work some very, very long hours. People think we're this big publishing house. My husband and I work full time. We have a skeleton team that only come on as they're needed, but really it's my husband and I that produce this product every quarter. So when we work on deadline, it's long hours, and that's fine. But I also I wag a lot. Don't tell my boss. I normally finish around lunchtime on a Friday.
And lunchtime on a Friday is a great initiative.
You feel like you're this naughty kid that's left the school grounds, and you know, I love that wag feeling.
Same here, because my radio show finishes at 11 a.m. on Friday, so I clean up bits and pieces, and then the afternoon I try and sneak off, and that's it.
It's like, no, not available. I go to my gym and exercise. That's important. I love walking. We've got one child left at home, so we entertain her. And I love to travel. Like my husband and I are both the same. We both love experiences.
Awesome.
Love to go overseas as often as we can, and even just drives up into the hills where we live on the Gold Coast. 45 minutes with beautiful areas.
We are.
And I think it's really important just to make sure that you listen to your body. When you feel like, sometimes I look at my plate and I go, you know what, I'm not going to be of any service to my day or my hour. I'm going to sit in the sun and have lunch for an hour today, or watch, some brain dead show. Just to switch off, and don't feel guilty for doing that. Do it guilt free.
My husband, he works from home 2 days a week, and he'll often come down to my office and say, okay, lunchtime, off you go. And I'll go, oh, but, and you'll go, no, lunchtime now. Otherwise, I'll get caught up and I'll just keep working because I love working. I love what I'm doing.
Me too.
And it'll be the same with you, that when you're doing something that you're passionate about, when you're doing something that is driven by your heart,
it doesn't feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work. It's exciting.
It's our calling.
That's the difference between going to a job and doing what you're meant to be doing.
100%. And look, when you're living your purpose in life, I don't call what I do work.
No.
And I don't think anyone truly living their why can call it work.
I agree.
You still need to have boundaries around it, but I often sit there and go, I'm not helping enough people.
Yes.
I haven't reached enough people yet. I haven't helped enough people find their why.
Yes.
And that fuels me to a further thought process of a business or online mentoring or whatever.
Yes.
How do I reach more people? How do I help more people and share my soul's fingerprint with them so that they can then imprint it on someone else?
Yeah. And that's the purpose of Tony TV, is I want to bring those inspirational stories to everyday people every week in the hope that they will be inspired and think a bit more about what they do and how they do it, and are they living the life that they're meant to be living, and are they doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that's the simple premise of Tony TV, and I'm so grateful that you've come on the show today.
I'm so honoured to be here.
Loved talking to you.
Thank you.
So thank you, Shar.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you for watching and listening to Tony TV. For more inspirational stories, join us next week. Bye for now.